What's up everyone, I am Wyatt from The Boys Gaming, and here today we are starting a new series of videos breaking down and scoring each and every zombies map from the very beginning all the way up to the current Black Ops 4 zombies. We're going to rank each and every map based on 5 key characteristics that we believe make a good map. Those 5 characteristics will include visuals and aesthetics, the map layout, how the corridors are, if it's a tight map, more open, different things like that. Map immersion, all the different things that are involved in the map, such as special types of zombies, special types of weapons, super weapons, Easter eggs, all of that good stuff. And that's a big one for grading each and every one of these maps. Number 4 will be gameplay, just how the game plays, how the game runs, its ability to keep its players interested, and finally the last one, replay value. So now, Nacht der Untoten. Nacht der Untoten is a map that I hold so close to my heart. I love this map so much. It started my zombies love affair. It was a map that I will never forget, but it was boring. It was very boring. It was devoid of anything to keep you interested for more than, I would say, at the time, probably 3 or 4 hours. After that, you just couldn't play it any longer, and that's if you made some deep runs. We'll get started with the visual aspects of this map, and if you want me to just sit here and describe this map visually, all I have to do is just say one singular word, and that is gray. Everything is gray. You look outside, you see gray. You look inside, you see gray. You look up, it's gray. Everything in this map is gray, and it was very boring, didn't really have anything to it, yet it was also a really good starting point for the Zombies franchise because it what you picture when you think, okay, where is a zombie apocalypse gonna start? You picture a place that kind of looks like Nacht der Untoten. One thing I will say about Nacht der Untoten visually was it was always kind of cool to look out through the windows, through the little barriers, and see what was out there. You could see the moon next to the weird little jail cell bars over there in the front right portion of the map. That was always pretty neat, and obviously looking around you could see the zombies coming out of the fog. That's something that will always be iconic to me. So visually this map was just very gray, not a whole lot to it, and pretty boring. Now we move on to the map layout, and the map Nacht only had 3 doors in it, a door leading upstairs, the help door, and then the door leading downstairs into the help room. Not a whole lot there as far as the map layout goes. What the map did allow for, though, was different styles of gameplay. You could camp if you wanted to. There was multiple different spots. One spot I always used to camp in was upstairs next to the grenades on the wall. That was a good spot to camp. And then you could also run trains, and there was a few different areas for that. I think the best one was in the help room. You could run through all those different pillars right there, but this map allowed for a lot of different styles of gameplay. So although it was a small map, the map layout was pretty good in my opinion. Now we go on to map immersion, and there is absolutely nothing as far as map immersion goes. There was really only the one special weapon, the ray gun, the one box area. It didn't move at all like it would in future maps. There was no equipment other than grenades that you could buy on the wall, no monkey bombs yet, no special zombies, no dogs. It was completely and utterly gutted of all things special that we see in zombie maps now. In my personal opinion, I believe the immersiveness of the map was just the idea of zombies itself. The whole idea to have, this game mode within a Call of Duty game, which has usually just been strictly war, now you're making this cool little side game into it. That was the immersiveness of the idea when it first came into play. When Nacht der Untoten was first made, they're like, let's try this idea out, and that was pretty immersive in its own respect. Now we take a look, now we fast forward a few years to see what zombies has become. Obviously this map doesn't have anything in it, but the idea itself and putting it in World at War was immersive in its own respect. The gameplay of Nacht der Untoten unfortunately wasn't the best, but it wasn't Nacht der Untoten's fault. It was more just World at War. World at War was a piece of shit with a bow on top of it. It was a fun game, but it had a lot of problems with it, and that spanned all the way to zombies. It was very difficult sometimes to play. You'd get very frustrated because of all the different glitches and little things that would bother you and mess up your gameplay throughout the experience, such as the knifing. When you'd knife a zombie, you'd dive into a group of a million of them and they'd all murder you, or when you'd grab a nuke and somehow you'd still die from the zombie slapping you after that. Those things made playing World at War Zombies and Nacht der Untoten very difficult. The good thing about the gameplay of World at War Zombies and Nacht der Untoten was everything was very easy to use. It was a very easy concept. It wasn't that difficult. You know, the interface was very simple. It kept players involved because it was so simple. As far as gameplay goes with that aspect of it, it was pretty fun. It was pretty easy and people enjoyed playing it. It was just the glitches that held the game back a little bit. The final factor when it comes to ranking Nacht der Untoten has to be the nostalgia factor, which is something that isn't going to play in a whole lot of maps, but this one has that nostalgia factor. It's the very first map, and it wasn't a bad map. It just didn't have a whole lot of the stuff that you see in normal, typical zombies maps now. No perks, no crazy special weapons, no buildables, nothing like that. But what this map did was give a nice little frame to continue this game mode and this franchise throughout the next few Treyarch Call of Duty games. When it comes to the actual ranking of this map, despite my immense love for Nacht der Untoten, I gotta give it a 4 out of 10. Reason being the visuals, although it was, in my idea, the perfect beginning for a zombies franchise, the dark, dreary, gray, weird wasteland, it still was very boring to look at after a good amount of time, so I had to cut a few points down right there on the visuals. As far as the map layout goes, there was only 3 areas to open up, so not a whole lot there that we would see in the next upcoming zombies maps, so I had to knock down a little bit right there. For map immersion, really nothing for us to grasp onto other than the ray gun, and that was pretty much it. And then for gameplay, World at War just mightily struggled once again with a lot of different aspects. You know, the different weird little glitches, such as the knifing being so weird, the nuke slaps that you would get, and the little space between the zombies. That was always really annoying, and it was a PS3 game. It was on the PS3, and World at War, the game itself, didn't run too terribly well. But what I did give Nacht der Untoten points for was replayability, because once again it was a very fun map to continue to play at its prime. It was something that people wanted to continue to play, and it just had this frenzy about it that people wanted to play Nacht der Untoten. And then once again, the nostalgia aspect of it, you gotta give some points right there. It was a map that was super fun. People wanted to come back and play it, and people remember it fondly, like when the zombies first come out of the wall and surprise you in there in the help room. Some of that stuff was just unforgettable. So once again, I give Nacht der Untoten a 4 out of 10. Very first video that we're doing ranking these zombies maps. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you liked what you saw here today, and don't be afraid to go down into the comments section and talk to us about some of your favorite zombies memories that you had playing Nacht der Untoten, and maybe some things that we might have forgotten here in this video. Thank you very much.